So a meteorite falls out the sky in Panama. This guy sees something fall out the sky, goes outside to investigate the area where he's seen it fall. He finds a silver rock. So what does he do? He takes it in the house. And let me just say this to you. What I'm about to tell you right now, you are not going to believe. So I'm just going to have to show you. Translate. And this is what that term is. That's coming out the rock.
Venom.
That's coming out the rock. That's coming out the rock.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? If you guys are brand new here to the channel, you guys don't know what we do, don't worry, I'm gonna break it down for you guys. We talk about the most scariest and creepiest videos on the net, on the web, from YouTube videos to TikTok videos, IG Reels, Facebook, anything weird, unusual, unexplained, you can find right here on this channel. Just want to thank the seekers, man, who's watching the videos entirely. Comment down below. I really appreciate the support. Found this video for you guys today. Let's do best, seekers. Say it with me, y'all. Seek the truth.
Music and frequency is so powerful, it affects everything around you. Watch this. I'm not sure what he's saying, but what he's about to demonstrate is insane. Frequencies and music are very powerful. Watch these trees. Watch how they're moving right now. Watch.
Okay.
As soon as he started playing, they froze.
No movement.
He might be playing at a frequency that is a calming effect upon things which hears it. I don't know about you, but I feel a lot more relaxed.
That's insane. There's no rustling.
There's a lot of power behind music and frequencies at all. Stay weird. Let me know what you think. Stay weird.
Here are some things I just learned today. There are multiple islands in Canada that are larger than the entirety of Great Britain. The studio that made the 2018 Spider-Man video game agreed to put in an Easter egg marriage proposal from a fan that requested it, but the couple broke up before the game was ever even released. There's a Dutch supermarket that introduced slow checkouts for people who enjoy talking and helping many people, especially elderly, feel less lonely, and they found it to be so successful that they installed the slow checkouts in over 200 of their stores. Newborn babies can't taste salt until 6 months old. Less than 1% of the world's population will ever run a marathon in their entire lifetime. Apparently, somewhat before he passed away, Ozzy Osbourne added to his will that he wanted Sharon to receive a dozen roses delivered to her every week until she dies. Also, Ozzy Osbourne stopped taking acid, apparently after conversing with a horse for over an hour.
There is some real sci-fi Spider-Man and Venom shit going on in Panama right now. So a meteorite falls out the sky in Panama. This guy sees something fall out the sky, goes outside to investigate the area where he's seen it fall. He finds a silver rock. So what does he do? He takes it in the house. And let me just say this to you. What I'm about to tell you right now, you are not going to believe. So I'm just going to have to show you. After cooling this rock off because it was burning hot, he put this rock on a plate. Put a glass over the rock. And when he does that, something started growing out the rock. Oh, you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit. Look at this shit right here. Mind you, the video is in Spanish. If you can translate, translate. And this is what that term is. That's coming out the rock.
Venom.
That's coming out the rock. That's coming out the rock. Yeah, okay. Y'all just seen that? Andrew, that's not even the finished product. Go to his page. You'll be able to find it. Trust me, you'll be able to find it. And look at the finished product. Look at what that shit really turned into. Now, and I want to say, TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only. This is for entertainment purposes only. Go check that page out. This shit crazy. I'm out.
I gotta check that out.
You're more like a medium. You know, when you really get there, you go into this zone and you really divorce yourself of who you are. And you just become a garment that something else puts on. Now, a lot of people sit up there and do impersonations of other folks, you know, instead of allowing that spirit, you know, but I sit up and I'll pray for a little bit, go in a dark place, go in the bathroom, turn off the lights, look in the mirror. We'll have the light on at first, and then after 1 minute, turn the light off, and you know, search until you see your own glow, your own aura, and then you watch it change. Wow. And it's a scary thing because you'll feel like some hands are on you, and you can lose a little bit of control of what you're doing, but you know, you stay with it.
Okay, that was definitely scary, bro. People in Hollywood, man. That's like, I don't know if he's talking about like method acting. That's when they have to, you know, do stuff to stay in character, but that was going too far, bro. A little extreme.
Stick around to the end, because what the hell? This is also proof that my camera decides to block out some faces and just completely delete the heads in others. So anyways, this is the Rolling Giant, and he was chilling at the Valley View Mall in Dallas, Texas, which is not far from me. This thing looks like an absolute backrooms demon. I do not like this thing at all. It looks like you're about to be sacrificed, dude. Run, run. He would scoot around on this little thing. Obviously he couldn't move by himself because he wasn't an animatronic. He was just a terrifying being. But he would, I don't know how this supported his weight. First off, demon. This photo looks like it's straight out of the back rooms. Straight out of it. Imagine you're chilling in the back rooms and you're stuck in an abandoned mall. And this thing is there. Which, by the way, Valley View Mall was abandoned a few years after that thing got there. So guess what? It's in there. It's in an abandoned mall, just chilling. And, oh my god. Yeah, in 2023, Valley View Mall was completely shut down, and that thing is in it somewhere. So, yeah, this thing is somewhere there, if not out in the open, somewhere in the walls, in, you know, storage. That's horrifying. I do like his little flower hands, though. That is kind of diva.
This man has spent the last 2 years building an entire town for his pets, and it will blow your mind. It all started with an apartment for his Shiba Inu and cats, but when people saw the excruciating level of detail that Jing put into it, it went viral. I mean, it is so realistic that it makes it look like the cat is the thing that's fake. Bro, he even created an underground den for his hamster, and then inside that, another even smaller room for his spider. What the hell? And so naturally, people wanted more. So, Jing started building more, like an elevator, a mini robo-vacuum, a gaming room complete with a sneaker collection, figurines, and model cars. And yes, this apartment even has running water. He then spent the next 2 months building an underground parking garage for his pets and even added cameras and put Shiba-san as the head of security. But you know what his pets really needed after that? A seaside retreat to get away from the city. So Ro built them an entire private island. Not that kind of island. It took him over a month to build, and it comes with real flowing water, a painted horizon, and is themed on how to train your dragon. And thinking a private island was probably a good place to start, he then finds out that Ting Hao was pregnant with 7 kittens. And so he suddenly realized this apartment wasn't big enough for a growing family. So naturally, he started building an entire town. Over the months, he built his pets a spa, a supermarket, yes, with real meat, a bank, a cinema, which took him another 2 months to build because he had to 3D print over 1,000 separate parts. He built them a billiards club, a Meow Donald's, and even copped his hamster a cyber quad and his cats a Cybertruck. But by far, the biggest addition to Cat Town was the working subway station. This took Jing over 4 months to build, and some of the most challenging parts was figuring out how to open the train doors and platform doors simultaneously, and also how to create a working escalator. But of course, he achieved both of them beautifully, and today, Cat Town has affordable transportation. Now, the biggest question he gets asked all the time is why? Why spend all this time and money on your pets like this? Well, he said that it started just as a fun little idea to attract more customers to his wife's pet store, which she recently opened. But then it just spiraled out of control because he loves what he does and it makes his son happy.
This YouTuber that goes by the name Dancer.
Crazy.
Yeah, and he snuck into the Bohemian Grove at night. It's like a 30-minute video. It's really creepy. He he went like crazy far with it. Like he way over the mountain range and like found like an abandoned children's kayak, and then found like a cast iron thing, and there's like a river or something separating Bohemian Grove from this place.
Okay.
He went into some of the buildings, and he went into this one building. All the lights were on, but no one was there.
Oh my gosh.
And it had this creepy look. Did you see the thing? It was like this creepy looking giant mannequin thing that looked like a weird clown demon goblin.
Oh, weird.
There's like an iron bowl with 2 owls on each side of it in front of the giant owl statues, and then the pit where they light the fire and do the mock sacrifice. But the owl is also made out of like plaster or something.
Really?
The owl statue, because he knocked out, is hollow, and you can go behind it and go up inside the owl.
No way.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, what was really creepy is a couple times throughout the video, you heard what sounded like humans doing owl noises. Saying owl is so good.
I don't like it.
Bruh, did we just
Insane.
get back in 2021? Because for the first time in years, there are more people out of work than there are jobs available. They said the job market was strong, right? They told us that the companies were hiring, right? They also said that the economy was steady. But that's all a lie. The government report just flipped that all upside down. Everything that I just said that they said was up is down. There are 7 million job openings in the U.S. right now. But there are over 7 million people waiting for jobs to get them. So essentially that means it doesn't matter how hard you grind because you got other people trying to fill out for that same spot. If you have a job right now, keep it. I know the job might stress you out. I know you might hate that job. But do not leave that job. Don't let them fire you for nothing until you get something else that's on the table that's a for sure, definite, possible job for you. Because y'all, it's hard as hell. It's one thing trying to find a job, and then it's another, even with that job, it's not even doing shit to help you for real. It's sad enough that one job is not cutting it in this economy, and people can barely get that one job. Are we going into a recession or some shit? Because like I said, the hiring process has slowed down, and now they are laying people off at that. History do always repeat itself, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down below in the comments.
What do y'all think, Seekers, about this job economy thing, man? That's crazy. I heard it was doing good, though, but prove me wrong, man. What do y'all think? Tell me down below.
Cockroach milk is more nutritious than cow's milk. Scientist says. Come here. Fuck you, end of scientists. In the studies that y'all create. And you might be wondering, where does cockroach milk come from if they don't have titties? Yep, you guessed it. Crushed bug intestines. Like real shit, this is the only person that think that this milk gonna be fire. I goddamn iguana. A lizard. Oh bro, if I ever catch anybody drinking cockroach milk, yeah, I'm gonna block you. In real life. I'm sorry, you just can't be trusted. Because if you honestly thought drinking cockroach milk was a great solution of nutrients, you cannot be trusted. But y'all let me know. Do y'all think cockroach milk could be fire?
No!
Would y'all try this disgusting ass shit? Let me know in the comments so I can block you. Like and follow for more wisdom and stay sweet. And if you want to learn how to turn your content to bring you passive income, comment down below ATM. Let's bug up.
China, did you know that they made an infrared contact lens?
No.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
So in a pitch black like area,
Yeah.
if you have these contacts in, you can see it's actually like green and
Word.
like yeah. But yo, they're making it for like $200 to make that lens, right?
Yeah.
So imagine how much they're gonna sell it for.
What does it really do?
It's no wires, no nothing. Just a contact lens with a bunch of nanoparticles that make invisible infrared light seeable to the eye. And they tested it on mice already.
Yeah.
And then the mice were like not going to the places where there was infrared light because they could see it. You know what I mean? I seen too that infrared light actually passes through your eyelids.
It does.
Yeah, so even with the lenses on, you can see signals with your eyes closed.
Yeah. That's
Which is
crazy.
fun. This is fun.
That's messed with your eyes, bro. They have no idea. Did she really pick up her shoe?
New Conjuring movie is literally possessing people while they are watching it, and this video of the guy getting possessed in the theater is insane. Not only is this movie the most scariest movie of all time, as they are quite literally handing out prayers you can make during the movie, because literally the movie is so demonic that this is where it gets even more worser. Because if you saw, they literally have priests with holy water sitting outside of every movie theater, and a lot of people are not taking these priests seriously. However, even more insane are some people are claiming that these priests are not even real priests and that they are just working for the movie. This guy's claiming that they are fake priests that are actually putting demonic spells on you. And even more worse, after so many strange things have been happening at the movie theater since this has been happening, people are now refusing to go to any movie that's out in theaters right now, as the potential energy that is from the Conjuring theater might leak over into the other theaters. Because I've seen about 6 or 7 videos of people allegedly getting possessed at these movies, especially after the Annabelle tour, where she allegedly went missing this summer, as well as Annabelle's owner suddenly passing because of a heart attack. You gonna see the new Conjuring movie?
This guy lived isolated from everyone for 27 years because he ran out of gas. His name was Christopher Thomas Knight, and he lived alone in the Maine woods for around 27 years after running out of gas in 1986, which is one of the biggest continuous forests in the whole of the Northern America. So let's just say it's really hard to come across people in there. Now you might be wondering what he did to survive. Well, he would steal supplies and food from nearby cabin, and during that time he avoided human contact at all costs. That's because he would only steal things at night when everyone, he would just skip them completely. However, in 2013, that's right, a complete 27 years later, he was finally caught stealing during the night. And when they caught him, he even told the police that he didn't feel lonely at all, because he loved that his life was all about survival. Now, I'm not sure I would be able to live for 27 years alone, let alone a few weeks. But I'll leave this question to you. Could you guys do it?
People who got caught in 4K. This guy posted a picture of himself saying he was golfing, but his daughter exposed him, showing everyone that he was just painting a wall. This guy posted a picture saying he got a brand new Mercedes-Benz. But bro, we can totally tell you just taped a piece of paper to the front of the car. Don't do that. This girl posted a picture of herself saying that she was on her second business call of the day. But there's a new feature called zooming in where we can expose people like you if you're not on a call. This guy posted a picture saying he was working on a new masterpiece. But that's clearly a picture of you in front of a TV. Come on now. You won't believe the actual size of these things. Okay, firstly, this is what an asteroid looks like in space. But this is what an asteroid looks like compared to the city of Los Angeles. Next, we've all seen a regular clock tower, right? Well, this is what a clock tower looks like compared to a human. That's insane. Now, we all know that blue whales are the largest animal on the planet, but they are way bigger than you think. This is their size compared to a human. And a blue whale's heart is so enormous that a person could swim through its veins. Okay, so we all know the sun is way bigger than Earth, right? Well, the sun is so big that you could fit 1 million Earths inside of it. We all know Shaq is absolutely enormous, but this is him standing next to an average person. But Shaq is short compared to the tallest person ever. And this is what the Great Pyramids of Egypt look like in the desert. And you don't realize how big it actually is until you see a human standing next to it.
Tesla just built. Humanity is not ready for this kind of technology. Not yet. When I first seen these robots, I thought about a couple movies, but one movie stood out, and that was Terminator. This movie came out in 1984, and there was a scene in this movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger said that Skynet will be activated in 2024. Then we have Tesla make these robots for $30,000. You can have one of these robots, or a helper, a sidekick, a partner, a babysitter, a driver, a Uber, it's going to take everybody's jobs. But this story go a little deeper. Remember, that movie said 2024, Skynet will be activated. September 29th, 2024, we had a second moon, an asteroid out of nowhere. Skynet 2024, second moon 2024. Maybe this is Skynet. I have some movies for you to check out. Bruce Willis, Surrogates, I, Robot, I Am Mother. So when I see stuff like this take place, I am not shocked. I am not surprised, because Hollywood been telling us for the longest
One of the creepiest movies I've seen was Artificial Intelligence, where the humans was wiped out. Then somewhere in the future, some alien robot-looking things took over the planet. They've been telling us. We never listened. Now that this shit manifests into our reality, people are worried.
Did y'all get the memo about climate change and these super bolts of lightning that would be coming out of the sky and taking down birds, y'all? Check this out. Y'all seen this in Alabama? Lately, the atmosphere has been extremely charged, y'all. Take a look at this picture of this lightning storm that was caught in Alabama yesterday. Talk about supercharged, y'all. What is going on? Like, the whole sky is purple, but look at this bolt. This is a super lightning bolt. What is going on? Look, even the camera has a discharge on it. Y'all see that? That's crazy. So all of this took place on No King's Day, which is Donald Trump's birthday, which is Flags Day. People's neighborhoods are lined up with dead pelicans, y'all. Look at this. And you would think it would be 5 or 6, maybe 7 birds, but there are upwards of 50 birds all over people's yards.
Okay, so what we have here is June 14th of 2025, and I guess earlier today, around about 1 p.m., it was like this huge lightning that had happened, and over 50 birds fell out the sky. They all in people's yards. They on top of the houses, as you can see in the video. And
it's so synchronistic because I just dropped a video about Phil Collins. You can feel it in the air. And now there's literally a shift of volatile electrical discharge in the atmosphere. So much so it's literally kicking birds out of their own environment. The atmosphere is getting charged up, y'all. Do y'all feel that? There's a shift that's happening, y'all. There's a switch that's about to take place. Do y'all feel it? And how about that thunder as of late? Is that even thunder? Let me know what you guys think about this video, y'all. Like, follow, and share for more videos like this. The shift is here. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
You need to stop using your phone when you sit on the toilet. A 24-year-old man from China became paralyzed from sitting on the toilet for too long. He was watching videos on his phone while he sat on the toilet until his family became concerned as to why he was taking so long in there. After 30 minutes, someone came in to check on him and found him on the floor unconscious, and he was rushed to the hospital. At this point, he was already paralyzed. The doctor said that he was in the same sitting position for a long time, which limited his blood circulation in his body. Also, the air circulation in the bathroom wasn't the greatest due to the enclosed space, so when he suddenly stood up, the lack of oxygen to his brain caused him to pass out. But this isn't the first time something like this happened. Another man in China had to be rushed to the hospital when he noticed a ball-sized lump fall out of his anus while he sat on the toilet. It turns out that was his rectum, which was caused by the fact that he sat on the toilet for too long. So doctors have said that when you don't focus on doing number 2, this can lead to constipation, which causes strain and pressure down there. So moral of the story, let's start leaving our phones outside the bathroom.
Crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna need you guys. That's a water side, man. Don't use your phone in the bathroom, man. We all been guilty of it, including me, but I update my life with these facts, so we won't be doing that anymore.
Things happening in the world right now. Champagne sales are down 15% in 2024, and multiple champagne executives have said that people are just not celebrating as much. This dog went in for a teeth cleaning and was spayed instead. These astronauts were only supposed to be in space for 8 days and now have to stay in space until next year because of new safety concerns. A new study came out and said that when Barbie learned what a gynecologist was, millions of other people did as well. It was recently revealed that this US woman who was tied to a tree in the middle of the forest in India tied herself to it. New research is suggesting that mayonnaise may help us develop perfect nuclear fusion. Remote work is to blame for Google's struggles with AI, according to the former CEO. This man was given 40 sausage rolls for 40 years of service at his job. This woman in her 70s was fired from Home Depot after failing to stop a customer from using a suspicious card to spend over $5,000 in fraudulent charges.
Weird Nature
How's she gonna stop that?
Part 26. The Blue American Rabbit was developed in 1917 by Louis H. Salisbury. Although it's natural, he never revealed what breeds he used to create this variety. In 1998, Honduras built a bridge over the Choluteca River, but the water was rerouted by Hurricane Mitch that same year. This mutated octopus with 85 tentacles was captured on an island near Japan. Known for its protrusible jaw and nail-like teeth, the goblin shark has only been seen about 50 times since its discovery in 1897. In 1493, Christopher Columbus mistook manatees for mermaids and wrote, "They're not so beautiful as they're said to be, since their faces have some masculine traits."
Simple psychological tricks that actually work. If you want someone to give you more information, try staying silent after they answer your question. The awkward silence will force them to continue talking. If you think someone's staring at you but you can't catch them, try yawning. If they also yawn, they've been probably staring at you the whole time. If you're in a conflict with a significant other, try using food to diffuse the situation. Have you ever been mad while eating a pizza? Follow me for more.
No, I haven't.
First songs you should never listen to. Barney's I Love You song.
I love you, you love me.
Yeah, this is a cursed one. This song can actually send you mad. It has a sick and disturbing past. It's the most overplayed song used by the CIA to torment prisoners. And music used for torture is a pretty interesting psychological concept, and this song makes it pretty easy.
The longest things in the world. Longest English word. Pneumonic ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. Longest YouTube video, 596 hours. Longest song, Rise and Fall of Bossa Nova, 13 hours long. Longest film, Logistics, over 35 days long. Longest day of 2021, Monday the 21st of June.
This case makes no sense, and the internet is pleading officers to look into the case further. This is the young teen that sadly lost her life after being locked in a Walmart oven. Walmart employees started posting on social media why her death was suspicious. This employee shows how hard it is for someone to accidentally lock themselves in an oven. Check it out.
These ovens are so hard to shut. From the outside, you have to push them. I'll show you. See that?
Ooh.
So you swing it open too hard when you get something out of the oven. Let's see what happens.
Whereas this talker showed how the door doesn't lock on itself. So someone had to be on the outside that latched it.
It closed by itself. It doesn't. It doesn't latch.
Oh.
It's designed not to do that.
So let's say she did get in the oven somehow, she would be able to get back out. Apparently some of the ovens also have like emergency shutoffs from the inside in case this does happen. So it seems like someone was on the outside that locked her in it. Because even if the door swung closed behind her, it wouldn't have been able to latch itself. Let me know your thoughts and theories in the comments below. How do you feel about this case?
I think somebody definitely pushed that door.
Literally makes you prettier. My name is Angel, and I've been studying in the field of psychotherapy the past 7 years, as well as being a makeup TikToker. And guess what? I just got out of a lash appointment because I cried all of my lashes off this month. And am I mad at myself? Not one bit, because psychologically, crying is a sign that you're healing, not a sign that you're broken or weak. Why? Because your body is designed with something called lacrimal glands. Lacrimal glands are activated when you cry. When your lacrimal glands are activated, your body immediately goes from a state of fight or flight to rest and digest. Your body and your brain are literally threatened when you're in a state of fight or flight. But when you're in a state of rest and digest, you are healing. Your brain becomes prettier and healthier when you feel your emotions deeply. Don't feel wrong for crying. You're actually going in the right direction.
What if I told you that
Good
your parent
advice.
was a secret spy that was sent by the government? I know this sounds absolutely insane, but hear me out. In the 1960s, there was a CIA program called Operation Acoustic Kitty. The goal was to quite literally use cats as spies. The idea was they would implant these transmitter devices in the cat. They would eavesdrop on Soviet Union conversations. The CIA believed that cats blended in more than other animals, and that they could easily be trained to approach targets and transmit audio. This project cost $20 million, and the first spy cat was hit by a taxi. Rest in peace. In order to do this, the CIA implanted implanted the radio transmitter into the base of the cat's skull, inserted a microphone into its ear canal, and embedded an antenna into the tail of the cat. Here's an x-ray photo for reference. This is like a literal monstrosity. Like, they're literally ripping apart these animals and like putting an antenna in their tail. And the way that they were gonna control the cats is by using audio cues. Thankfully, there were a lot of complications with this like operation, and they ended up closing the project in 1967. It feels so bad for these little kitties. I'll look for more.
Psychology hacks to read anybody
Insane.
like a book. When he agrees with you, but he's shaking his head, he's definitely lying to you. When somebody sits back in their chair, they're showing that they're tired of the conversation. When they're rubbing their hands together, it means they have a positive feeling about something. Follow me for more.
Okay, we know where that be came from. Slice Adams. That thing about the cats was insane, man. What is it with the CIA, man, and trying to make animals into spies? I just don't think it can work.
Facts about Earth that will make you question everything. The ocean contains about $770 trillion worth of gold, which is enough money to build your own ocean in your backyard. The hottest place on Earth is Death Valley, California, and it's reached temperatures as high as 134 degrees Fahrenheit. And while we're on the subject of temperature, Antarctica can reach 60 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer. And this is the Kitty's hognose bat, which is the smallest mammal on Earth.
This is the smallest prisoner in the world, and you will not believe what this guy actually did. Back in 2015, a group of kids were left home alone after the mother and father went out to get some pizza, when the young boy put his baby sister in the oven. Now, you've probably seen these videos about this story all over social media. Now, although some of the information in these videos is completely fake, the majority of this story is actually 100% true. So the kids were left home while their parents went out, and they decided to put the baby sister, who was like 18 months old, in the oven. Reportedly, one of them opened the door and shoved her in there, while the other one turned the heat and made it hot. Reportedly, when the parents came home, smelled some sort of cooking, and it wasn't good. Now, the kids had been playing around and playing a game. They didn't know what the oven was, so it was meant to be a prank and a game between them with no parental supervision there. It went very, very wrong. Now, the parents were actually charged because of this, and the kids, of course, were far too young to even be investigated, really. And both the parents were actually charged with 2 counts of endangering a child and murder.
Do you know why Michael Jackson's skin became so white? Michael had a medium brown skin tone as a kid and teenager, but in 1983, when Michael was 24 years old, his skin started to change colors and it was scary. Random spots appeared on his skin and they gradually lost their pigment. In 1986, Michael's doctor informed him that he was suffering from a skin disorder called vitiligo. Vitiligo gives people white patches on their skin and makes them sensitive to sunlight. This is why Michael often walked under umbrella and wore hats that shaded his face. Apart from vitiligo, Michael Jackson also struggled with lupus, which is another kind of disease where the immune system mistakenly attacks its own tissues. To treat his conditions, Michael used skin creams and makeup to hide uneven color patches on his skin, but many people criticized Michael and said he was trying to become white, but Michael had his own reasons, and he explained them.
I have a skin disorder that destroys the pigmentation of the skin. Is something that I cannot help. Okay, but when people make up stories that I don't want to be who I am, it hurts me.
Facts that I wish.
Never knew that. I mean, you know, people, they have their theories, man, about, you know, Michael Jackson, I guess, recovered another person because I didn't know, like you say, he had a skin disorder. Hey, man, we all gotta do our facts. We all gotta do our research, bro. That's interesting.
Wish I didn't know. When you die, the last thing to go is your hearing. So as all your other mortal sensations are leaving this world, the last thing you're ever going to experience are the sounds going on around you, which very well could be like your family members crying or cheering. By the year 2050, there's going to be more plastic in the ocean than fish. When pigs get a cold, like a cough, very often they will shoot their intestines out of their anus, and farmers have to, like, stuff it back in.
Yeah. I never knew that.
Ridiculous facts that will make you laugh. A woman earlier this year brought a baby hedgehog to a wildlife hospital thinking that it was hers, but in reality it was actually just a baby. Queen Elizabeth one time actually accepted an invite to a random wedding that invited her. In the 1980s, an Army supply clerk accidentally ordered a $28,000 anchor instead of a $6 lamp because of a mistype in an order number.
What?
There was a rumor that Stephen Hawking would deliberately run over people's toes that he didn't like. He denied the rumor by stating that it was malicious and that he would run over anybody's toes that spread it. Animal Planet aired a fake documentary about mermaids that made thousands of people convinced that they were real. Twice. And it wasn't even on April Fool's Day. It was in May 2012 and May 2013. It was the most watched telecast on Animal Planet since Steve Irwin's memorial 6 years before. This teenager's art was not discovered by his parents for multiple years until they looked at their house on Google Earth.
What the? Why would he put that on top of the house, bro? I even did it. Slap the mess out of me, bro. What the hell?
Are your toys alive?
What did I just walk into?
Would you ever roll
Edit.
me? New fear unlocked.
It's too realistic.
Gotta be careful here. Well, that puts an end to my target fishing. Wow.
You're a brave soul.
Get back.
This is a war game about...
That's exactly what I would have did, Seekers. I'm especially was that alligator crocodile? It don't matter. I'm hitting it just as soon as I see something come out that water, bro. Like I said, we was the bravest still even standing there, man. I would have been gone.
About trying to survive your sleep paralysis demon. Let's talk about a horror game called Silent Still. The entire point of this game is that it's trying to recreate the feeling of having sleep paralysis. And while your character can walk around during the day, at nighttime when you go to sleep, you cannot move. You are completely frozen. All you can do is look around your room while your sleep paralysis demon walks about. It basically tries to recreate that feeling of helplessness. One of the interesting parts about this game, though, is that it actually tries to tell a story. During this time, your character is discovering that they have sleep paralysis, and they're trying to figure out how to deal with it. There are 3 nights, 3 sleep paralysis sessions that you have to get through in this game, and a few of them scared the absolute hell out of me. I don't want to spoil anything, especially because the last night takes the game in a completely different direction than I was expecting, but I do have a full playthrough of this game on my channel. I hope you know that you have a lot to be proud of about yourself, and I'm proud of you simply for the fact that you haven't given up.
All the horror news that you probably missed.
I have to check that out.
This found footage movie series just announced a new installment. We'll be getting Hell House Lineage, and it's supposedly the last but scariest Hell House movie. Hell House Lineage will take place right after Hell House Origins, the Carmichael Manor. So watch this one if you want to be all caught up in time for the new movie. If you're a fan of Hell House, Midnight Mass, or Fall of the House of Usher, then you probably know that Mike Flanagan is now making shows for Prime Video. And his next project is an 8-episode miniseries based on Carrie by Stephen King. I'm a fan of literally all of Mike Flanagan's Stephen King movies, so here's some bonus recommendations. I already know that Carrie is going to be amazing. Creep is one of the best found footage horror movies on Netflix, so I'm very excited for the Creep Tapes, which will be a found footage TV series, where every episode is another one of Peach Fuzz's previous victims that we haven't seen before. Longlegs, Saw, and Stephen King is a match made in hell, and I am so here for it. Because the director of Longlegs, Osgood Perkins, will be directing The Monkey, based on a short story by Stephen King and produced by James Wan. Neon actually sent me a sneak peek of a kill scene from this movie. Even though I definitely can't show it on here, I will say that it got me so excited to see the rest of the movie. This one is going to be a bloody good time. In a Violent Nature went super viral all over social media when it first came out. And one of the cast members just announced that there will be a sequel in A Violent Nature too. Hopefully it'll have even crazier kills than the first one, but I have no idea how they're going to top this scene. And that's...
This photo is of the most dangerous man on Earth, the Cincinnati Crawler. This actual photo was captured by the family back in 1974 after this man entered their house, and escaping shortly after the photo was taken. So in 1974, the Johnson family lived in Cincinnati. It was a quiet neighborhood, they had a nice house in the middle of the countryside, not much went on here.
until they started noticing very strange things happening. Their 14-year-old daughter would regularly say that she would see these eyes outside of her window at night, peering in, staring at her. And with most nights the sounds of banging and footsteps, which they thought was just rats or some kind of pipes. Till one night, their youngest son was laying in bed, ready to go to sleep. The family dog would regularly come in to sleep with the young boy and just stay on his bed, but he felt the dog jump up onto his bed slowly and went to pet it. But it wasn't the dog. That was when he spotted this guy at the end of his bed, just standing there. After everybody had spotted him, the man ran out of the house and has still never been found. Though reportedly 4 other young children had gone missing in this area at the same time in the 70s, which police believe he could have been responsible for. On top of this, in the 60s and 70s, there was a lot of human experiments going on in the exact same place.
Psychology hacks to read anybody like a book. If somebody is closing their eyes when talking to you, they're probably hiding something. When a person covers their mouth, it means that they don't want to say what they're thinking. When a person is rubbing their chin, they're trying to make a decision. Follow me for more.
That's just ain't facts, man. I always write those down. Those psychology facts, man. You can analyze a person by learning those, I guess, traits that people be doing when they're talking to you. I wasn't that it. Oh, what the hell?
Yes, you saw that right. The moon was just hit by a giant meteor and exploded. We have at least 24 hours to prepare before fragments of the moon reach Earth. Expect massive meteor showers and some pieces big enough to take out entire cities. Media is reporting that without the moon's gravity, our oceans are about to be unpredictably wild. Tsunamis will strike coastal lines around the world, and if you live near a coastline, get you and your family to higher ground as soon as possible. They are also saying the Earth's tilt and rotation will start to wobble. This means insane, unpredictable weather and extreme storms that can cause chaos. You need to stay inside and safe, because now that people think the world is ending, there will be riots, loots, and people just not listening to the law at all. Things are about to get very scary very fast. I'm not gonna lie, bro, we just all gotta stick together right now. Take care of your family and take care of each other, man. I don't know what to do. Please share this video because this was just a prank. It's creepypasta, and you can really scare your friends with this.
Crazy things happening in the world right now.
I knew that was an
Zoom,
edit.
the app widely used for remote work, is telling its employees that they need to come back to the office.
What?
For Mental Health Awareness Week, McDonald's changed their Happy Meal to just the meal. The Red Lobster found a rare orange lobster in their batch and decided to donate it to the Denver Aquarium. Florida put new state line signs that welcome drivers to the free state of Florida. Japan is running surveys on their young people asking them why they're not getting married amid a population crisis in the country. The OceanGate co-founder said that he wants to dive to the portal to hell that sits in the Bahamas. Costco is now selling apocalypse buckets where you get 150 servings of food that will last for 25 years. 65,000 coffee mugs randomly went missing in a Tesla factory. A recent study published says that young adulthood is no longer the happiest time of a person's life. Another study published that you actually can't have too much money, and that billionaires are significantly happier than millionaires.
Let's talk
Wonder
about
why.
the couple that made a real-life snuff film. So on May 29, 2012, mysterious packages began arriving at various businesses around the Montreal area in Canada, including an elementary school. Each of the packages contained the severed and decomposing remains of a 34-year-old man named June Lin. Police were able to trace June's last known whereabouts to the apartment of 30-year-old Luca Magnotta. Now, Luca was a man who was so obsessed with getting famous that he was willing to do the most disgusting and vile acts imaginable just to get people talking about him, which included posting videos of himself online torturing and unaliving kittens. Police were able to determine that June had been unalived on May 24th, 5 days before his severed limbs were mailed to police, and using that information, they discovered something even more disturbing. On May 25th, the day after June was unalived, Luca actually uploaded a video to the website bestscore.com entitled One Lunatic, One Ice Pick. The video depicted June Lin tied to a bed completely naked, and Luca standing over him before stabbing him repeatedly in the chest and the neck with an ice pick. Afterwards, the video depicts Luca decapitating June and then cutting off his arms and his legs. From there, the video gets even worse, and it shows Luca using June's severed head and his severed arms to masturbate himself. After that, Luca is seen cutting chunks of flesh and meat away from June's buttocks and then feeding them to his dog and also attempting to eat them himself. Lucas stated he did all this in an attempt to get famous and that he was not sorry at all for what he did, and he's currently serving life in prison.
So this is widely considered to be one of the most credible paranormal experiences in U.S. history. For upwards of 88 different witnesses, independent witnesses, within a 72-hour period in this home who claimed to experience some sort of phenomenon. The home was occupied by the Gooden family. Very normal, very suburban, husband and wife and their 10-year-old daughter at the time, Marcia. What was interesting was that the occurrences in the house actually dated back to 1968 when the family heard scratching and unexplained knocking coming from inside their walls. In November of 1974, a crowd appeared in front of the home because there was something unexplainable going on inside. A collection of 5 different officers were called to the home, all of whom claimed to see appliances lift off the ground and levitate. People claimed to see the cat talk. People claimed that objects were flying off the walls, dishes were smashing on the floor. Even Ed and Lorraine Warren showed up to the home. Given all of the police reports and the records of this incident and how it has gone unexplained for so many years, what do you think really happened?
It's gonna make you look at the animal kingdom differently. Parents and teachers definitely wouldn't want me telling you any of these. So, listen the fact up. A flatworms definitely look like the kind of creature that God was bored on the day he made them. However, there is some fucked up shit going on in the flatworm species. For starters, all flatworms are actually born male. Gotta be very careful in how I phrase this next part. Otherwise, Papa TikTok will be very mad at me. All flatworms, as they are born male, will fight with their lightsabers, in which the loser of the duel gets injected and their lightsaber falls off, making them a female, and that's how flatworm females are made. Next up, sperm whales are very majestic creatures. Oh, they're fucking not, and let me tell you why. They can actually vibrate you to the next world. They are so physically massive that their clicks are so loud that they can vibrate you or cause an air bubble in your brain, making you meet your maker very quickly. Geese, these blue-eyed devils are so strong that they can break your shins with their beaks. Dolphins are little shits. You know how you like going down to the lake and skipping some stones? Well, this complete menace enjoys that too. However, instead of using stones, they use fucking stingrays. That's right, when they're bored, they swim down, catch them, bring them to the surface, and skip them along like they're a rock. I'm holding back the laughter, but it's still wrong. Next up, we've got baby sloths. If a baby sloth falls off its mother's back and down onto the forest floor, sadly, more often than not, the mother can't spare the energy to go down and get it. Which, as you can imagine, doesn't necessarily end well for a baby sloth. And finally, we have pigeons. Now, I dislike these flying dodos as much as I dislike seagulls. However, I'm not kidding, they are capable mathematicians. I'll be honest, point out to myself, I fucking hated maths. But just like non-human primates, they are capable of learning abstract mathematical concepts. However, they're complete menaces to their own society as shown in this video. My point proven, they just threw one of their own into the next world. Elon!
Phase ADAP, he was on the pigeon theory, man. He was the first one.
Websites you should never visit. Part 2. Crime scene photos. Trigger warning, this website is extremely graphic and not for the faint of heart. It shows real life crime scene photos and then explains them in depth. The website is a bit much and not for everyone, so I would definitely take that with a grain of salt. Comment down below and tag a friend if I should do a part 3.
I don't think I want to visit that site. I don't need that in my mind.
Disturbing brain facts. 1. The brain will protect itself even if it means misery to you or death. If you're stuck in the middle of a cold place, your brain will fall asleep to conserve energy and never wake up again. Inhaling smoke in the middle of a burning house, your brain will make you stop breathing and pass out. 2. Your brain doesn't necessarily stop all activity the moment you are pronounced clinically dead. Up to 30 minutes of brain activity has been recorded after death. 3. Comment brain and I will DM you a brain hack you definitely have never heard about. 4. When you're falling asleep at night and your body jerks. This is called hypnic jerks. This happens because your brain thinks you're dying if your body falls asleep faster than your brain. 5. 90% of all illness and disease is stress related. 6. Certain brain injuries or conditions can lead to spontaneous and uncontrollable bursts of aggressive or violent behavior, even in individuals who were previously non-violent. 7. Your eyeballs are an extension of your brain and are directly connected to it.
Whoa. Those brain facts, man. Definitely write some of those down, bro. We're gonna need those.
Scariest things found underwater. From Atlantic Ocean. Stone people.
They from Atlantis?
Chuk Lagoon. WW to tank.
Damn.
From Little Traverse Bay. Jesus statue. From Lake Lanier. Underwater ghost town to 150 plus towns. From Lake Neuchatel. Shark statue. From Antarctica. Ningen.
What's that?
From Minnesota Lake. Jason Voorhees statue.
How was Jason on the water?
Girl that vanished into thin air. Her name is Yuki Onishi. On April 29th of 2005, 5-year-old Yuki was out celebrating Greenery Day with her mother. It's a national holiday in Japan, and what they do is they go out, they celebrate nature, and they collect bamboo shoots. So Yuki, her mom, and 60 other people were out doing this. Yuki was so excited that she found her first bamboo shoot, she showed her mother, and then she ran off to find more. That's when she disappeared and was never seen from again. When they realized that she was nowhere to be found, they actually brought in search dogs and the police. This is where it gets really strange. The dogs followed her scent to the middle of the forest and then just stopped. The scent stopped in the middle of the forest as if she had just disappeared into thin air from that spot. To this day, she has never been found and no one knows what happened. If you want to hear some theories, come back for part 2.
Deadliest disasters
That's
in
insane.
human history. Part 1. In 1986, the Space Shuttle Challenger broke apart 73 seconds into its flight, killing all 7 crew members aboard. The astronauts actually lived through the initial explosion and survived for nearly 3 minutes before they died on impact with the water. In 1184, a group of nobles gathered in a room in the Church of St. Peter above the latrine pit of the monks. All of a sudden, the floor collapsed due to their combined weight, causing 60 nobles to fall to their death into a pool of poop and sewage. In 1893, gifts were being passed out at a magic show in Victoria Hall. Over 1,000 kids tried to force themselves down a narrow staircase that led to a single door that opened inward. Only one child at a time could pass through, causing 183 children to be crushed to death.
With some gifts, man. Even back then, bro, people were going crazy over gifts. About items, belongings, man. It just, that don't make sense. People gotta be more careful.
Facts, part 409. In November of '99, the girlfriend of Panthers wide receiver Ray Caruth was shot 4 times and later died in the hospital. It was soon determined that her NFL boyfriend had hired a hitman to kill her after she reportedly refused to abort their baby. The baby ended up surviving, and Caruth went to prison for 19 years before being released in 2018. During a tense pro basketball game in 1992, Serbian player Boban Jankovic was frustrated with a foul call and slammed his head into a padded concrete post. He immediately dropped to the floor and was never able to walk again after badly damaging his spinal cord. Earlier this year, 44-year-old Pennsylvania man John Matthew Chapman was sentenced to life in prison after driving his girlfriend across the country and luring her into a Nevada desert for a bondage photo shoot. He then bound her to a signpost with zip ties, taped her mouth and nose shut, and watched as she died.
Here's what would happen if every girl on Earth disappeared. So about 4 billion girls would be wiped out and the boys would be left to fend for themselves. And more than 70% of people in the medical field are actually females. So people would be dying left and right. Also, the entire school system would collapse. This is because most college students and professors are actually female. On top of that, 30 countries would lose their leaders and the world would fall into chaos. And then the boys would be left alone to go extinct.
Things humans weren't meant to
We need women. That's simple. That's a very simple thought. What the hell? All this secret footage. Okay, that looks kind of edited right there. I can't lie to you right there.
Get me out of here! What do you want? Please, I don't want to be here anymore. Just let me out.
What the hell is that? Super secret footage.
Gruesome facts you didn't
Is that legit on the edit?
This is the sandbox tree, a tree doing everything in its power to kill you. If its deadly appearance isn't enough to keep you away, maybe learning that its small fruits, which look like little pumpkins, actually become time bombs when they fully mature. With a loud bang, they will fling their hardened seeds up to 150 miles per hour and over 60 feet.
Damn.
To further add to that, the fruits are also poisonous, and the sap can cause blindness and a painful red rash. This is a nose tomb located in Kyoto, Japan, which is filled with Korean noses. Japanese samurai would collect trophies from those they killed during wartime. Now, traditionally, it was the entire enemy's head. But due to how cumbersome it would be to take that many severed heads, they went with noses instead. The noses would be pickled and sent back to Japan. This tomb contains an estimated 38,000 noses. In July of 2018, a tofu worker in Indonesia named Sugito was out collecting grass and vegetables for his cattle when he accidentally wandered into a licensed crocodile sanctuary. It wasn't long until he was attacked, and guards did hear his screams, but they couldn't save him. The next day, a mob of over 600 angry villagers stormed the sanctuary to take revenge. First destroying the office, then going after the reptiles. In total, they killed 292 crocodiles. After each crocodile was dead, it would be dragged and placed into a giant bloody pile, and then they would take selfies in front of it.
Morbid fact.
They slid, bro. They was not playing, man. That type of community like that, you can't find that. That's rare. Don't mess with people, bro. You don't know where they come from.
Part 408. American actor and model John Eric Hexum was once seen as the next big thing in Hollywood due to his charming looks, charisma, and radio voice. But in 1984, he died on the set of the TV show Cover Up after accidentally discharging a blank cartridge into his skull. Hexum had apparently been playing Russian roulette with a prop gun during a break in filming, and the muzzle blast caused enough blunt force trauma to fracture a piece of his skull that propelled into his brain. Serial killer Israel Keys went the extra mile to ensure that he would never be detected. He had no preferred victim type and never killed in the same area twice. For one murder, he flew to Chicago and drove 1,000 miles all the way to Vermont in a rental car and used a murder kit he'd hidden there 2 years prior. When shopping on his murder trips, he always kept his phone turned off and only ever paid in cash. But Keys was caught in 2012 after using a victim's credit card when he didn't have any cash on hand.
Things
This
people do
Jesus
is to
statue
not get
started
caught.
leaking water, and everybody thought it was a miracle until they realized it wasn't. In 2012, when water started dripping down this Jesus Christ statue in an Indian church, everybody thought it was a miracle. Hundreds of people would gather there every single day just to get a drink of this water. They thought it would cure diseases and even send them to heaven. But this guy right here wasn't buying it. His name is Sanal, and he wanted to see it for himself. So he traveled across the world to see this statue and began his investigation. He searched the building next door where he found drain pipes that had bursted, and they were leaking everywhere. It turns out the water dripping down from the statue was actually sewage water. So the water people were collecting and drinking was literally poop. Sanal shared this information with everyone, but nobody wanted to hear it. Instead, he received threats, and the church even sentenced him to prison.
Let's talk about the Arcadia.
He was just trying to expose the truth.
Arcadia County,
Or tell the
Ohio,
truth.
A teen named Calvin Dim went missing on his way home from school. This was really unusual at the time because Calvin was actually a pretty well-accomplished athlete, and he was very tall for his age, so whoever did overtake him and abduct him was either a larger person or a group of people. So for like weeks, this investigation goes cold until a VHS tape is mysteriously found at the doorstep of his parents' house. The VHS was compiled of various different clips of unknown people in different masks who were just staring into the camera. But there is one clip in this video that had the words Cal, short for Calvin, edited into the VHS. This was pretty definitive evidence for the police that whoever made this video either knew where Calvin was, or they had him in their possession. Police would end up finding this frame, which showed a person in a black tarp, presumably with their wrists and ankles tied. Investigators believe this could be Calvin, and what's even eerier is they think this was shot in the woods behind his house.
What? People are sick, man. Just like torments their family like that. Send a VHS tape to them so they can see that.
This is the creepy story about the school trip. An entire class of 6th graders went on a school trip. Everyone was taking pictures with phones and cameras. When they returned back to school, everyone was looking through the photos. When the one girl said, "Oh my god, what is that?" Everybody ran over to look at it. In the picture, one of the boys in the class was sitting on the bus. Nothing seemed strange about the photo until you looked very closely at his reflection in the window. His face in the reflection looked like it was yellow and bulging, bubbling and mutating, and there appeared to be a strange floating white thing beside him. When everyone turned the picture upside down, they realized it was a skull, and it was horrific. When the boy saw the photo of himself, he burst into tears and immediately had a panic attack. The teacher had to send the boy to the nurse, and the principal banned everybody from ever speaking about the strange photo again. 7 days later, the boy in the photo died from a brain tumor.
So what the hell was that? Like a sign or something, man? He said he saw a skull on him, bro. And they was all taking pictures, man. So that had to have been a sign, right? That's crazy how they caught that on camera. 7 days later, man. When you're taking pictures, bro, it tells a story. I learned that watching these videos together with you guys.
Here's 5 things you won't believe you can buy off the dark web. The last one could have saved me a ton of money. Number 1 is fake passports for any country in the world. Now this is very dangerous because a lot of terrorists use this. Number 2 is a hitman. You can hire a contract killer to get the job done for you for approximately $5,000. Number 3 is credit card numbers. And since you can never know that an individual credit card has been canceled, these identity thieves sell them in batches of 100. Number 4 is a lifetime Netflix account for just $1. This account is paid for using stolen credit cards. Finally, at number 5, a fake college degree from the college of your choice.
People getting fake degrees out here? You gotta check everything.
Humans were never meant to see. If you didn't know, this is what a snail drinking water looks like. It's actually super rare, and the fact we were able to capture it on camera is incredible. But what's more incredible is this octopus dreaming. And the reason why it's changing colors so much is because it's dreaming about different environments. So it's trying to blend in all of them.
Whoa, what the hell? Octopus can dream? Yeah, I never do that. And that shot of the snail looks like a freaking, like a bullet went off, bro. It's like that quick. Hey man, nature. I learn new things every single day watching these videos together with you guys, so I'm always grateful for that.
Now I love dinosaurs as much as the next guy, but I think it's pretty safe to say there ain't no way in fuck I'm taking part in this shit. Cause here are some of the scariest extinct animals you'll be glad took the L. First up, we got the Therizinosaurus, a literal Freddy Krueger of a dinosaur. If you don't believe me, what the fuck is that? They had 3 feet long claws. Now scientists say that they're most likely herbivores, but I'm sorry, evolution. What the fuck? Why have you given a herbivore 3 foot long claws to tear down the little plants? Meanwhile, you've given the T-Rex, the daddy meat-eating carnivore, little fucking Tootsie Rolls for arms. The me no comprende. Next up, we got the Meganeura. Now, I'm really not a fan of dragonflies nowadays, so a flying cocky fucker with a wingspan of 75 centimeters that resembles a dragonfly can fuck off. And finally, we got sea scorpions. Now, they're on the list purely for their size. I mean, what? They had a length of 8 feet and 3 inches, and when their claws were actually fully extended, that could add another 3 feet to their length. You know, just an 11.5 foot scorpion. We chillin'. Now, I don't mind scorpion. If this was a spider, nah!
Yeah, we ain't doing... I know we all do spider seekers. That's a no. Man, so scorpion was that big back in the day? Like you said, we glad they took the L, bro.
This is perfection. One of the worst videos on the dark web you should never go looking for explained.
Okay, so Perfection is a dark web video nobody should go looking for or even want to see. The video shows a woman peeling her nose and entire face off with a potato peeler, with literally zero expression or pain on her face throughout the entire time doing it. After she completely peeled off her face and nose, her jaw was just hanging down because there was no support from the cheeks anymore. There is a story about 3 friends who watched the entire Perfection video and 2 of them ended up dying. Many reports say that while watching the Perfection video, it somehow hypnotizes you and you end up doing what the girl did to herself and dying. But luckily for all of us, this video is literally impossible to find. It's extremely hard to find on the dark web, which means it's virtually impossible to find it on the normal web.
Good.
This is honestly a video I would even stay curious on, because it comes from the dark web for starters, and it's extremely and utterly awful. Nobody knows who the girl is or why she's doing this to herself, and nobody knows who even made it. But the stories surrounding the video saying people get hypnotized and end up peeling their own face off and dying make it 100 times more scary, and should make you not want to watch it or even look for it. Perfection is regarded as one of the most unsettling and disturbing videos on the internet, and the mysterious origin and story of it make it truly an internet mystery. Let's talk about a terrifying moment from the scariest game I have ever played. Lost in Vivo. In Lost in Vivo, your dog Danny has ventured into the sewer and it's our job to save him. Danny is our best friend. We can't let him get hurt. The sewer goes deeper and deeper, evolving into all sorts of random locations. We push on to find Danny, fighting through unspeakable horrors while we do so. Eventually, we make our way to a mining area. And look, there's Danny. He even comes when we whistle. But wait a minute. Why does he look a little off? Why does he sound like that? All of a sudden, Danny's body begins to open up. This is not your dog, and you need to run because it can smell your fear.
What type of game is that, bro? Dogs, the final boss?
If your immune system ever found out that you have eyeballs, you would go blind. Which means right now, your immune system has no clue that you can see. Because if it did, they would attack your eyeballs until you can no longer ever see. This is because your eyeballs have a protein in them called crystalline that doesn't exist anywhere else in your body. So if your immune system found out and checked them out, it would be like, something's wrong here. Studies show that most serial killers are born in November. Today's high school students have the same anxiety levels as insane asylum patients had in the 1950s. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, my anxiety might be up there too. There's a disease called fatal familial insomnia, where people suddenly one day lose their ability to fall asleep, which leads them to slowly go insane. They can't distinguish dreams from reality anymore and go into some type of paranoia. It becomes so severe that they eventually die. Those that make it to the final stage and don't die usually end up in a vegetative state, no longer conscious. And it can happen to any one of you. About 3,000 people go missing every year in the United States. The last execution by guillotine was in 1977. This was in France. And also that was the same year the first Star Wars movie came out. You are always 6 minutes away from death, but breathing resets the clock. In 2011, Anatoly Yakovlevich was arrested for having 12 dolls in his apartment. Only problem is, they weren't normal dolls. They were recently deceased little girls that had been dug up and dressed to be put on display. In 2012, a Burger King employee anonymously posted this to 4chan. It said, "This is the lettuce you eat at Burger King." It only took 20 minutes for people to track down the branch that he worked at, and he was fired. You really never know what people are doing to your food. H.H. Holmes was a serial killer who built a torture hotel in the 19th century. He had secret rooms with gas chambers, trap doors, and stairs that led to nowhere. He loved to play with his victims' minds. It was almost like a real-life Saw movie. Joe Matheny was an infamous serial killer who not only cooked his victims to eat for himself, but also made them into burgers, using their remains. He then sold them to unsuspecting customers from a roadside food stand. We really never know what we eat. I'm cooking all my food myself. Because why don't we eat over people's house? In 2021, a new homeowner was shocked to find a boarded up wall. When he ripped the boards off the wall, he discovered a hole. In that hole was a doll clutching a note. The note saying that she killed a family who lived there in the 1960s. Be honest, would you move out? In 1978, there was a pilot named Frederick Valentin. Him and his plane disappeared in Australia. His last communication was Melbourne, That strange aircraft is hovering above me again. It is hovering, and it is not an aircraft. This is a mugshot of William West and William West. Oh, and they're not related at all. But they were both sent to Leavenworth Prison at the exact same time in 1903. And after some confusion, the staff finally figured out they were two different people who had the exact same name and looked identical. This was said to be one of the main reasons why we now use fingerprints to identify somebody. There's biotech being developed as we speak that can make prisoners feel they are serving an 1,000-year sentence in a matter of 8 hours. That's horrifying. Imagine thinking you spent 1,000 years somewhere, and then when you wake up and snap out of it, you realize that it was only a couple hours. Do you know how crazy that is? Anyways, like this video if you want a part 2.
You ever seen tears under a microscope? It looked just like crystals. When you put tears under a microscope, this is what tears and grief look like. Tears of timeless reunions. Tears of laughing and crying. Tears of release. This is more images of what tears look like under a microscope. Remember, water has memory, so every time you release some of your tears, you're releasing some of your memories. If you ever start crying and tears fall from your right eye first, that means happiness. If tears fall from your left eye first, that means tears of sadness. If tears fall from your eye at the same exact time, that means your body is doing a natural detox. Every time someone speaks about a detox, they speak about herbs, plants, and fasting. Did you know that crying is the greatest detox you can do? The image you are looking at right now in the background is tears when you cry at the same exact time. You ever ask yourself why they always say men shouldn't cry? They said if a man cries, it makes him weak, but it's really the opposite. When a man cries, it recharges his whole physical body to get more strength. So next time you want to do a natural detox, go outside while it's raining and start crying and watch how your body recharge.
I swear. Okay. I didn't know crying was a detox. It's crazy, man, how each different emotion brothers, they look different under the microscope. We learning.
Thank God I'm at the Asian market. Look, I ain't never seen no motherfucking black chicken. The fuck out of here.
What?
What? The fuck? Oh shit.
Today marks 10 years that my sister has been gone. I have told this story before on Facebook. A couple years ago, I told this story on TikTok. And I'm just trying to spread awareness. So TikTok, please understand this is for educational purposes only. My sister was unalived by her husband using witchcraft, black magic, root is what we call it in the South, because he didn't want her to be successful. He was very jealous of her and he didn't want her to succeed. It is a long story, but I just wanted to put it out there that I will be telling the story again. I just need to get through this day. What y'all need to understand is this shit's real and that it can happen to anybody. So let me get through this day, and I will post part 1 probably tonight or tomorrow. And this time I'm gonna go in a bit more detail about what happened, why we caught it so late, and just try to understand that this could happen to anybody. She was beautiful, she was smart, she had children, she was talented, she had a lot going for herself. And when you are a powerful woman, and you come across a needy man, stay tuned for part 1. I just need to get through this day and then I will put up part 1.
Sounds scary. I don't know what he
I
did.
knew exactly who will be playing in this year's Super Bowl just by looking at the logo. The NFL really thought the neon colors would throw us off. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, basically every year the NFL releases their Super Bowl logo, and for the past few years, the 2 primary colors that are in the logo have also been the primary colors of the teams that end up playing in the Super Bowl. And you're trying to tell me this isn't scripted? Anyway, back to this year. Let me show you what this looks like with the saturation turned down. We go from pink and lime green to our primary colors being purple and blue. If you're thinking, hey, what about the red right there? The game is in San Francisco. The Golden Gate Bridge is red. So do not even try to tell me that that little bit of red means the Chiefs are going to be in this year's Super Bowl, because I cannot handle that. There's also a shocking amount of green on this logo, but that'll all make sense when I tell you what teams these are. The blue is obvious. It's the Lions, whose primary colors are really just blue. And the purple is even more obvious. It's the Ravens. And here's where that green starts to make sense. The Ravens' main color is not just purple, it's also gold. And gold is really just yellow. But the Lions don't have another color, so they kind of just rock with blue. And what happens to blue when it's mixed with gold or yellow? It turns green. So nice try, NFL, but the script has officially been leaked again. Lions-Ravens Super Bowl 2026.
There's some crazy... If that's true, we're coming back to this video. Called it Lions-Ravens 2026.
Things happening in the world right now. A man in Michigan, known for his generosity in his community, made one final gesture to thank his community by literally making it rain cash from a helicopter at his own funeral using his life savings. He was a beloved car wash owner in East Detroit, and he died from Alzheimer's at 58 years old. Sounds like a great guy. We can now help the US government pay down its debt using Venmo and PayPal. Yippee! A Florida man was arrested for drunk driving a lawnmower down a highway. McDonald's had an AI hiring tool that's password was 123456, which someone apparently guessed and exposed the data of 64 million applicants to McDonald's. And everyone is welcome classroom sign is violating a new Idaho law. The law says that you're not allowed to put up political statements as signs in classrooms. I guess, okay. A teacher was banned recently in Wales for drinking alcohol, swearing at other teachers, and dancing to the Macarena while under the influence of alcohol. Obviously, or not obviously, I don't know. Sometimes you just want to dance to the Macarena, I guess.
I want y'all to go look up how many black truck drivers go missing. If you have a truck driver in your family, you need to send them as many videos as you can, because the stories are here on TikTok. Let me tell y'all what's going on. They had a black man, 38 years old. He talked to his wife at 3:45 that morning. When he talked to his wife at 3:45 that morning, he told his wife he was getting down, off the interstate to go get some coffee. She never talked back to him ever again. I think his wallet and I believe the truck was found or something like that. But she haven't heard from her husband at all. So who has snatched this man? Where's this man? You think he just up and just left it and just, come on, bro? What's really going on? But I want y'all to go and look up truck drivers, black truck drivers that has went missing. You'll be surprised the stories that's out there. Though it's just not safe. And I know me and my husband has traveled, and we done got down on it in these little towns to stop to get gas, and it just don't feel right. You know what I'm saying? So sundown towns are real, guys. I actually talked to my nephew because he's a truck driver, and he told me he done walked in a store, and he said, Auntie, everything just got quiet. So basically he knew he wasn't, he wasn't comfortable, or he wasn't supposed to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, the people had a problem of him being there. Talk with your loved ones, okay? And guys, share this man's story. I'm going to hashtag his name, okay? I'm praying for his family. Hugs and love. If you are a black truck driver, please be careful. Again, hugs and love. Y'all be blessed, J-Lo. Bye.
Thanks for the warning. Is he looking for his keys to this boat? Oh yeah, he's cooked. I don't know what he on, bro. I don't know what was going through his mind.
In our food. Watch this. This is insane. There's no way Sweet Tea does it.
Like Jello.
No way. Stay weird, y'all. That's goofy. None of these places are safe to eat at anymore. Can anyone explain why this happens? As always, thank you for watching. Stay weird.
I just watched a video of that girl saying that everything's been so crazy because there's a time traveler who keeps going back to 2020 to try to fix things, make shit right, but he keeps fucking it up. Listen, I know y'all think I believe everything, but here's why I believe that. Because y'all don't remember this time last year, or maybe a year and a half ago, that time traveler that was caught at the Airbnb in that shed on that guy with the Airbnb host ring camera. Bro, whatever you believe, okay? He went in, he was in his 20s, he came out, he was in his 50s, 60s. We never seen him again. You gotta be kidding. He's still out here. He's still out here. It was the same guy. The same shaped forehead, the same glasses. He looked at the camera. It's the same guy. He's still out here trying to make changes. That's where we're getting all these Mandela effects from. Didn't they look him up too, and they found his name, and they found that he was involved in like quantum physics and astrophysics.
Wow.
You can't make it up. That's him. He's still out here.
Our sensory systems were not shaped to show us the truth. They were shaped to keep you alive long enough to reproduce successfully. Darwin's theory says the probability is 0 that any sensory system, like eyes, ears, smell, touch, taste, has ever been shaped to see any aspect of objective reality truly. What you do experience is sensory systems that guide adaptive behavior.
So your eyes, your nose...
They guide you so that you act in ways that you don't die too quickly.
Okay.
And you can have kids that don't die too quickly. That's all it's about.
If you just imagine, like, wipe off everyone on the earth and it's just you, and we remove all of your senses, what is in that space? Because you're right, my senses, my eyes, my ears, my ability to understand temperature is a byproduct and consequence of me surviving. If we think about ghosts and the afterlife, maybe there was no reason from a survival perspective that I even needed to be able to see or acknowledge them. Maybe it just didn't help. So anybody that could process all that information wouldn't have been good at reproducing, therefore they wouldn't be here. So maybe those of us that are here were just really good at ignoring the other dimensions.
That's what our mathematics says. I think that your intuitions on that are quite right. If you pay attention to anything other than what allows you to have kids, you're wasting your time from an evolutionary point of view.
Oh, what is that?
What the hell is that?
This is a telescope, and I don't know what this looks like. Bacteria or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's so gross. Oh wow, you got it.
4K.
I don't know, y'all. This is kind of creepy.
Very creepy.
If you're trying to reduce your exposure to microplastics, you might have to stop breathing.
New research just confirmed microplastics aren't just in our food and water. We're inhaling them, and at a rate 100 times higher than previously estimated. We can't see them, but they're there. The good news? You can take small steps that actually help. Dust regularly, open your windows, and rethink the synthetic stuff you use every day.
NASA works for the devil, and they found him in the bottom of the ocean in the 60s. So they've been trying to cover up the Sealab 3 project for quite some time. Sealab 3 was this mission where the Navy and NASA partnered up to see the bottom of the ocean to test certain things. But what they were doing was certain types of research. In short, they were trying to get in contact with the devil. Well, at least NASA was. Now, whenever they got to the bottom of the ocean, things got really weird. And there is multiple reports of sabotage. Any of the Navy members that discovered anything for some reason ended up missing. Now, the more fascinating thing about this is one of the supposed astronauts that supposedly went to space, Scott Carpenter, was down there the entire time. Now, they tried so hard to stop the information from coming out that even whenever they did a 2-week decompression period, even that was getting sabotaged. This is all public information too. Please fact check me if you don't believe me. The ocean is the house of the Dajjal or Antichrist, and it is also the house of the devil. There is multiple biblical texts that talk about this. The Quran, the Bible, the Torah all mention about how these sinners or evil people at some point in time throughout all of these stories were going to be sent to the abyss. Now the word abyss means the deepest dark part of the ocean. It comes from the Greek word abyssos.
Everything that NASA says is a lie. They are working directly with the devil.
The seismographs at Yellowstone have been down for almost 2 weeks now. People are starting to feel a chill in the air as the seismographs at Yellowstone National Park and the University of Utah, which monitors the Yellowstone supervolcano, have been down. No one has an idea as to why both of them have been down at the same time. However, typically they will let us know when they're about to do maintenance so as to not frighten people. This time that did not happen and they have just been down without a reason. This is directly after this seismograph was recorded at Yellowstone. And as all of this is going on, a man on TikTok is posting videos of the ground shaking. This man lives on a ranch near the Yellowstone National Park. In one of these videos, he has a water bottle on the ground, and as he's recording, you can see several small fissures pop up. And then a bit into the video, the water bottle falls over. And this person has posted many videos of the ground shaking to such an extreme degree that it sounds like water is boiling underneath the surface of the crust.
So we got a freaking super volcano about to go off in the Yellowstone. We see the bison leaving, fleeing. That seismograph was looking scary.
Is scared he will never die. Ismail Azizi from Tanzania has reportedly been declared medically dead by doctors on 6 separate occasions, but has come back to life every single time, and no one can explain how. In a recent documentary by Afromax, they report that the first time he died was after a workplace accident. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition, and soon after, doctors declared him dead, not some randoms off the street. His body was taken to the morgue while his family started preparing his funeral, but to their bewilderment, he regained consciousness and walked out of the morgue onto the street like he was taking a nap. And that was only round 1. He died again after catching malaria, but this time he made it all the way to the coffin before yet again waking up at his own funeral. Now this became a literal cycle for years. Death 3 was after a car accident where he collided with a fuel tank and put him in a coma, but like clockwork at this point, after being pronounced dead by medical professionals again, he woke up, and at this point even the doctors were getting freaked out. Death 4 was after he got bit by a venomous snake, but this time he spent a whopping 3 days in the morgue. And that really convinced his family that Ishmael was gone for good this time. But no, because when they went to go retrieve his body for his 4th funeral, he woke up again. Now after his 5th death, he fell into a toilet pit. His community started getting a little scared, and they became convinced beyond reasonable doubt that he was a witch or a ghost. So you know what they decided to do? Burn his house down with him inside to try and kill him for the 6th and final time. And guess what? They were successful until he woke up again. Bro, I'd be scared too. I couldn't die. And now, after all of this, he has to live in an isolated old house with no neighbors, because apparently he's a bit of a local legend and people are too scared to live near him. He also said he can't get a job either as a result of the stigma. Bro, one meeting with JD Vance, cooking for sure.
Why is nobody talking about this? China is back on a lockdown. Just the other day, over 7,000 people was affected with something called the chikungunya virus, a mosquito-borne illness that causes joint pain, fever, fatigue, and in some cases, paralysis. But here's where it gets weird. They're spraying the cities, they're deploying drones everywhere, scanning every rooftop, and if you got standing water and you're not dumping it, they're finding you up to $1,000. I'm even hearing they're cutting people power. Mosquito nets, quarantines. They treating this shit like a biohazard. They're releasing modified mosquitoes. Like that's gonna help with some shit. I feel like that's gonna make it even worse. Y'all know who started the genetically modified mosquitoes, right? Let me know in the comments. And as of right now, the CDC just issued a travel warning. So if you're traveling to China, they advise you not to, unless you really got to. And I don't see a reason why you would really have to go there when something like this is going on. Now this. I got some questions. If this was just a regular bug virus, why the lockdown? Why the surveillance drones? And why the severe emergency level response? Maybe this ain't just a virus, y'all. Climate change is making these viruses spread even faster. Y'all never noticed that? And governments already know what's happening. They running drills while a lot of other people still trying to figure out what's going on. But I be hit. You ever wonder what else they know that we don't?
The guy who was caught throwing toys on the WNBA court has finally told us why he did it. And yes, they have finally caught the green toy machine. His name is Caden Lopez, and he is already facing charges of disorderly conduct and ASSULT after his most recentest throw seemed to hit Sophie Cunningham in the leg. Then Kelsey Plum kicked it off the court, and this is where it gets more worser. A lot of people were saying that he was going for Sophie Cunningham specifically after Sophie literally said, "Stop throwing toys on the court, you're going to hurt one of us." Now the WNBA has implemented a no bag policy for games. And even though a lot of people think that this is super funny, a lot of people are super angry that this is happening. And this is where it gets even more insaner. So the 3 toys that have been thrown have been over the past week in 3 different cities across the United States. The first one in Georgia, the second one in the state of Chicago, and the third one where he got caught in Los Angeles. And people were wondering if it was the same guy all 3 times, as well as how did he sneak them in? Well, it turns out that he snuck in the green toys on his person, which is the most disgustingest thing I've ever heard. He was doing this just because it's funny. Should he be free?
I don't know. I don't think so,
though. Seriously? What the hell? It's that hot here?
It's melting everything.
看到感觉是干嘛呢？我的乖呀，感觉。
What the hell is that? Is that hot?
Want to know how hot it is in Australia? This hasn't been switched on. It's just been baking in the Aussie sun. Just goes to show.
God dang. I don't know how people can live in that heat. Seekers, if you guys made it with me to the end of the video, you're a true seeker seeking the truth. I greatly appreciate the support. Make sure you guys give a thumbs up on this video. Comment down below. Catch me on my next ones that I'm going to upload. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.